Using participle phrase, Part 1. In writing, students can make use of a participle phrase to describe two actions happening at the same time or one action after another. First, what is a participle phrase? A participle phrase is a group of words which begins with the participle, either the present or past. Sometimes we begin a sentence with the participle phrase for the descriptions of the sequence of events or actions. Here's an example. Look at this sentence. Blasting fireballs from his hands, the wizard attacked. Question. What is the noun being modified? Is the word wizard. What is the participle? Is the word blasting. What is the participle phrase? This is the participle phrase. Blasting fireballs from his hands. Here are some more examples. The verb to fall. Falling from his mount, the hero clutched his wound. Falling from his mount is the participle phrase telling us about the subject, the hero. The verb to heat. The blade glowed orange, heated in a smith's fire. Heated in a smith's fire is the participle phrase telling us about the blade. Note that the participle phrase does not have to be at the beginning. It can come last in the sentence. The verb to ring. I saw Santa Claus ringing the bell. Ringing the bell is the participle phrase telling us about Santa Claus. The participle phrase can be used to describe two actions happening at the same time or one action after another. Here is an example of each of them. Two actions occurring at the same time. Example, standing on the edge of the fish pond, James threw a coin onto the back of a turtle. We have two actions here. James stood on the edge of the fish pond and he threw a coin onto the back of a turtle. And he's doing both at the same time. Another example. One action following another action. Dropping the guns, the robbers put their hands in the air. The robbers dropped the guns first, then put their hands in the air. There are two types of participle phrases. The present participle phrases and the past participle phrases. Here an example. Being sick, Peter took a sick leave. Caught by the police, the thief was sent to the police station. Being is a present participle. Caught is a past participle. Being sick is a present participle phrase. Caught by the police is a past participle phrase. Present participle phrases. A present participle phrase begins with the present participle, the ing form of a verb. It replaces the subject plus an active verb in the simple present, simple past, present continuous, or the past continuous tense. An active verb describes what somebody or something does. Example 1. Joe is quite tall. He can help me take the books. Joe is the subject. Is the active verb. Being quite tall, Joe can help me take the books. Example 2. John is doing homework now. He has no time to play with us. John is the subject. Is doing is the active verb. Doing homework now, John has no time to play with us. Example 3. Liz heard something strange outside. She walked out of her room to see what happened. Liz is the subject. Heard is the active verb. Hearing something strange outside, Liz walked outside to see what happened. Past participle phrases. A past participle phrase begins with the past participle, which is the ed or en, etc. form of a verb. It replaces the subject plus a passive verb in the simple present or simple past tense. The passive verb describes what is done on somebody or something. Example 1. Joe was told that he was fired. He felt unhappy. Joe is the subject. Was told is the passive verb. Told that he was fired, Joe felt unhappy. Example 2. Our classroom is cleaned every day. It is very hygienic. Our classroom is the subject. Is cleaned is the passive verb. Cleaned every day. Our classroom is very hygienic. 總括嚟講，如果你個句子嗰個動詞係被動嘅動詞呢，你就用 past participle；如果個動詞係主動嘅動詞呢，你就用 present participle。Task 1. The following is an article from the Standard. Rewrite the underlined parts using present or past participle phrases. The article will be displayed on 2 screens. After that, the underlined parts will be extracted and redisplayed on screen 3 for your convenience. Carbon dioxide threatens fish survival. Rising human carbon dioxide emissions may be affecting the brains and central nervous systems of sea fish, with serious consequences for their survival. The Australian Research Council's Centre of Excellence for Coral Reef Studies said it had been testing the performance of baby coral fishes in the seawater containing high levels of dissolved CO2 for several years. Number 1. High level of CO2 sustains significant disruption to their central nervous system. It is likely to impair their chances of survival, said Philip Munday, a professor who reported the findings. Number 2. Munday and his colleagues published the findings in the journal Nature Climate Change. They also detailed that high CO2 levels in seawater disrupts a key brain receptor in fish. This causes marked changes in their behavior and sensory abilities. Number 3. Elevated CO2 in the oceans can directly interfere with fish neurotransmitter functions. This poses a direct and previously unknown threat to sea life. Number 4. Our early work showed that the sense of smell of baby fish was harmed by higher CO2 in the water. Our work means they found it harder to locate a reef to settle on or detect the warning smell of a predator fish, said Monday. The team then examined whether fish's sense of hearing, used to locate and home in on reefs at night and avoid them during the day, was affected. The answer is yes, it was. Number 5. They were confused and no longer avoided reef sounds during the day. They are then attracted to reefs during daylight. This would make them easy meat for predators. Monday said around 2.3 billion tons of human CO2 emissions dissolve into the world's ocean every day, causing changes in the chemical environment of the water in which fish live. Here are the underlined portions, extracted for your convenience. Stop the video while you work on converting them to present or past participle phrases. When you've finished, resume play and the answers will be displayed for you. Here are the answers. Number 1. Sustaining significant disruption to the central nervous system, high levels of CO2 is likely to impair their chances of survival. Number 2. Publishing the findings in the journal Nature Climate Change, they, Monday and his colleagues, also detailed that high CO2 levels in seawater disrupts a key brain receptor in fish. Number 3. Directly interfering with fish neurotransmitter functions, elevated CO2 in seawater poses a direct and previously unknown threat to sea life. Number 4. Showing that the sense of smell of baby fish was harmed by higher CO2 in the water, our work means they found it harder to locate a reef to settle on or detect the warning smell of a predator fish, said Monday. Number 5. Being confused and no longer avoided reef sounds during the day, they are then attracted to reefs during daylight. Task 2. The following is another article taken from the Standard. Like in Task 1, rewrite the underlined parts using present or past participle phrases. Save Wild Tigers. A tiger summit was held by officials from 13 countries in Russia. The summit aimed to save tigers on the brink of extinction. After the officials held the meeting, they would sign a declaration to save the iconic big cats from extinction. The 13 countries agreed to preserve and enhance tigers' habitats. However, the 13 countries will need about US $350 million in outside funding in the first 5 years of the 12-year plan. The number of tigers worldwide has plunged by over 95% in the past century. The number has only increased in Russia, from several dozens to some 500 now. Wildlife experts, however, say that Siberian tigers are still endangered. Their pelts, bones, and meats are prized in traditional Chinese medicine, and some 100 of them are killed annually to be smuggled to China. Many of the countries are impoverished. Such countries will be seeking donor commitments to help finance conservation measures. You may stop the video while you rewrite the underlined parts. And when you finish, resume play, and the answers will be displayed. Here are the answers. Number 1. Held by officials from 13 countries in Russia, the Tiger Summit aimed to save tigers on the brink of extinction. Number 2. After holding the meeting, they, meaning the officials, would sign a declaration to save the iconic big cats from extinction. Number 3. Agreeing to preserve and enhance tigers' habitats, the 13 countries will need about $350 million in outside funding in the first 5 years of the 12-year plan. Number 4. Having plunged by over 95% in the past century, the number of tigers has only increased in Russia, from several dozens to some 500 now. Number 5. Being impoverished, such countries will be seeking donor commitments to help finance conservation measures. Exercise. Rewrite the following using the present participle and past participle phrases. Number 1. As Bob read ghost stories until midnight, his eyes were blurry and tired. Number 2. Since John thought that the number 8 is his lucky number, he bought a flat on the 8th floor. Number 3. Roy was amazed by a long history of the haunted hotel. He thought he had made the right choice. Number 4. When Roy was told that the ghost often appears in room 555, he requested to stay in that haunted room. Stop the video while you do the exercise, and when you're finished, resume play to display the answers. Here are the answers. Number 1. Reading ghost stories until midnight, Bob's eyes were blurry and tired. Number 2. Thinking that the number 8 is his lucky number, John bought a flat on the 8th floor. Number 3. Amazed by a long history of the haunted house, Roy thought he had made the right choice. Number 4. Told that the ghost often appears in room 555, Roy requested to stay in that haunted room. This is the end of the lesson. Goodbye.